everybody. This is Stuart Wellington of the Flophouse Podcast, and I'm here to welcome you to another Flophouse Mini. Now, the Flophouse is a podcast where we watch a bad movie and talk about it, but on the mini episodes, we do other stuff. But before I get into what we're going to be talking about today, let's introduce the hosts. I'm one of them. My name's Stuart Wellington, and joining me are...
Another of them, Dan McCoy.
And the third and final of them, Elliot Kalin.
The absolute final. So
after
guys,
me, the deluge.
The Omega.
Yeah. So guys, inspired by a recent Flophouse movie, Better Man, I thought it would be fun for us to explore some of our favorite animals of moviedom.
Okay.
See, animals are a huge part of movies. Animal characters, animal performers,
Once a whole animal house.
animals, once an entire house made of animals.
Yeah.
So,
well, how much better would that movie be if it was about a house made out of animals?
Yeah, but I mean, like the building
it's
authority.
Dan's favorite comedy, Elliot. Why don't you
find people for that one? Not a good way to.
Animal House is. I mean, I'm sure people disagree with me in some ways about this. Animal House for me has always been right up there with Caddyshack. One of these movies where everyone's like, "Isn't this the funniest movie of all time?" And I'm like, I just don't like it. It's just not for me.
So there's a lot in it that like I have come to realize the problems of, but when I first saw it, I found it a lot funnier than Caddyshack. I will make a mild argument that I think that the people who are assholes in Animal House, aka everyone, basically, like we're not supposed to necessarily think that the slob house is any better than the snob house.
I mean it's called Animal House because they're acting like animals. Like they're not. Yeah, it's not a but. But
there's also stuff in it that did not age. Anyway, sorry, are we interrupting a mini or something, Stuart?
No. I want to talk about Animal House. No, please, interrupt away. That's what the Flophouse is, a digression engine. So what we're doing...
That sounds like a good either science fiction action movie or spy movie, digression engine.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking about different... animal characters from filmdom. I've broken them down into general categories.
Okay.
And what I'm going to do is present a category, and I'm going to list some famous examples of them. And then we're each going to take time explaining who our favorite, what our favorite, what we think the best is, the perfect, whatever. We're going to make a case for it, okay? We're going to argue, okay? There's 6 categories, so we're going to do the first category. And obviously, if I don't list your favorite, you can go off my you don't have to use my recommendation.
Oh, we can go off menu. Okay, great.
We can go off menu. We're going to start with the biggest one. Okay, this is arguably you got to start with the hot one. We are starting with the canine category. That's right, movie dogs.
You mean biggest, like most popular?
Most
there
popular.
are bigger animals. Yeah, except for Clifford, I guess.
Yep, except for Clifford. Oh, I should have written Clifford down.
Go off menu.
Not Martin Short. Okay.
That's
Martin
a different
Short's
Clifford.
not a dog.
Not a dog, no.
Okay, so some perfect examples. Perfect examples are Air Bud, Beethoven from the Beethoven franchise.
Oh,
Benji,
not Beethoven from Immortal Beloved. Okay, yeah.
No. Toto. Not the band. No,
okay,
not the band.
okay,
I know.
thanks.
I saw you jumping at it.
Yeah, I just was like from the Dune soundtrack? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Marley from Marley and Me. Lassie. Hooch from Turner and Hooch.
You had Hooches on there. I was like, this motherfucker doesn't get to hooch.
Yep. And though this isn't the name of the character, I'm going to say that dog that was in both Widows and Game Night. That was a good year for that one dog. That little like white fluffy dog that played Jesse Plemons and Viola Davis's dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
That was that one year when Helen Hunt was in every movie, but for that dog.
Yeah, that dog was in every movie.
Yeah.
You don't remember that dog, Dan? The one that Jason Bateman bleeds all over and Brian Tyree Henry threatens.
I mean, in my head, I'm seeing a dog now, but it's maybe just because you described a type of dog, and now I'm plugging that into an invented memory of Game
So it's
Night.
weird, Dan, that then you would say that it was your favorite dog, since you don't really remember it at all.
No.
Okay, so do you guys have any favorites of these dogs that I've listed?
Well,
who's the ultimate dog?
Speaking of professional dogs, I am fond of the dog whose real name in real life is Mushroom, who played the dog in both Gremlins and Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, a top dog actor, not Top Dog.
Nope, it's a different dog.
But one of the top dogs.
Do you have a favorite dog character, Elliot?
Favorite dog character? Yes, because multiple dogs played this dog. But in the Thin Man movies, of course, there's Asta, the wire-haired terrier, I believe, who is He's a member of the family. He has a couple of fun. He's one of the few dogs who does comedy reactions to things that I actually find funny, especially at the very end when he covers his eyes when Myrna Loy and William Powell are just banging on that train. You know, I love that dog. So that's a great dog. I mean, and some of that sure is residual love for that movie, The Thin Man. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, if this is the dog that's cool enough to be in The Thin Man, this is a cool dog. You know it. So, but he's a great
it's
dog.
a cool dog. I mean, I'm going to say, like, it's really hard to top Air Bud. I mean, that's a dog that plays basketball and other sports, guys.
I don't know.
That's
I feel
pretty
like
impressive dog.
I feel like setting the precedent that if it's not explicitly spelled out in the rule book, then anything goes, I think has had negative effects on the country ever since Air Bud.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
and that's not Air Bud's fault. Obviously, he didn't intend that, but it's hard for me not to look at the domino effect of the Air Bud series. Yeah.
So you're saying there's something about seeing a dog winning that much
No.
has caused some has caused some toxicity amongst a certain type of person who might be foiled by a dog like that.
I think
Exactly. Yes.
I think
exactly.
Elliot is saying that Air Bud is a stress test for
Yes.
for sports, and then as an extension, American democracy.
I'm saying if the
Okay.
sports referee system cannot keep an animal out of a human sport, and I'm not saying all humans should be able to play sports. I have no problem with different kinds of humans playing sports. But the idea of, let's say, a dog or a muskrat or an alligator, or, I mean, then you get the TV show Man versus Beast, where you have people in a tug of war with, I think, an elephant. That's not fair. Elephants are enormous, you know. So
That's true. That
and
isn't
eventually you
fair.
get to the point where anything goes, and we're in a war of all against all.
Well,
And the
that's-
basic idea of a community has fabric has disintegrated.
In one of my previous newsletters, I did a comic where there's like a hawk taking off Air Bud, like stealing Air Bud from the court, and it said nothing in the rule book said that a hawk can't take the dog. I forget what the wording was, but it's like the problem with the Air Bud doctrine is that it leads to this kind of
arms race of animals.
escalation.
Yeah.
There's literally nothing in the basketball rulebook that says you cannot garrote the players of the opposing team because they felt they didn't need to put that in there. But
Yeah.
it's not in the rulebook, so
It's just a norm is the
get
problem.
your garroting wire. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, just put
No
Norm out
garroting.
there.
Yeah,
Just
just
put-
put Norm from Cheers on the field. There's nothing
George
in the rule
Wendt.
book that says that Norm can't take over.
It's an all Norm team. Norm from Cheers, that Gnome named Gnorm. You
Yeah.
know.
Other norms? Do you have any other norms to name, or only those?
I think there's a superhero called Normal Man. You know that could be
Yep.
Norm. I don't have any other norms.
Now, I
though.
do
Dan,
like,
you have any?
I listed Beethoven from the Beethoven franchise. I have to say, I'm a big fan of Charles Grodin getting a fat paycheck.
That's not the dog.
Yeah, the dog
necessarily.
didn't make that decision.
Did you guys ever see Marley and Me?
And also, if you want Charles Grodin to get a fat paycheck, then maybe Clifford with Martin Short is the Clifford you should have on
That's
that
true,
list. You know?
yeah.
I didn't see
Yeah.
Marley and Me.
Huge
because
financial windfall for him.
To me, so there's a genre of movie that I think we could call sort of dog tearjerker.
Yeah,
where
sure.
like it's
Life
clear
of a dog.
that
Yeah, the dog's going to die at
Old
some
Yeller.
So I
like,
shouldn't just shorten it to dog jerker, right?
No, it's a different job.
point. That's a job?
Yeah, for some people.
I mean, if you love what you do, it's, you don't really work.
You don't work a day in your life, but you do jerk a day in your life. Yeah. So Dan, continue.
But I'm not necessarily seeking out a movie where it's just like, I know I'm going to be sad because this dog is going to die at some point. Like, now I said, spoiler,
You're not a freak, okay?
spoiler,
You're not a
spoiler,
sicko.
skip ahead if you don't want a spoiler for a random movie that you won't know what it is
Ransom
until I
with Mel
say.
Gibson, where a dog does get shot. Yes.
But,
yeah.
you know, I was excited to see Hooch
Oh
on
no,
the
sorry. It was not. What's the one with Mel Gibson where it's the remake of Point Blank?
Parker? Oh.
No.
Payback is what you're...
Payback. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
not
that's the
Ransom.
Parker
Payback.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Payback. That's what I'm thinking.
I was excited to see Hooch on that list. Hooch does get killed, saving Tom Hanks at the end of Turner and Hooch.
I mean, if a dog's going to save a human being, I
But-
feel like Tom Hanks is not the worst.
Well,
one.
it's like
Yeah, but I didn't
Asimov's
walk
3
into
rules
that
of
movie.
rodogics, that a dog
Yeah.
has to protect itself, but
Yeah.
a dog a dog cannot allow a human to come to harm. A dog must obey all orders unless it conflicts with rule number 1 of rodogics, and a dog must protect himself unless it conflicts with the previous 2 rules. That's Isaac as a dog's rules of rodogics. Yeah,
That's
so-
from I Dog. Dog.
I
It
Wrote
should be
Dog,
I
yes.
Dog. I don't know why you have to. But like, I didn't walk into that movie thinking like, oh, this dog's gonna bite it at the end. It just looked like a fun movie about a dog cop.
You thought it was
You
just a
know?
fun movie about a dog that drinks beer.
Yeah.
Now, also,
Party
I
dog
just need,
with Buzz McKenzie.
before anybody
Oh,
makes
Dan,
the
I've got some bad
suggestion,
news about Spuds McKenzie. Died in
before-
a tragic surfing accident.
really,
Yeah.
was it tragic or kind of funny.
No, you're right. It was one of those surfing accidents where a dog dies, but it's funny, Stuart. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so these are some strong arguments. Anybody have some final statements here?
I will say, Stuart, if I was sticking to the menu you provided, Beethoven would have been my choice as well.
Beethoven's pretty good. He slobbers like crazy, right?
He's a big slobbery dog. If I'm watching a movie, I'd rather see a big slobbery dog than a little yappy dog.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put Beverly Hills Chihuahua on this list.
Yeah.
Because I felt like it was a real outlier, and I'd be surprised if anyone made the case.
I mean, the thing about Mushroom in Gremlins, I can't remember the actual character's name, but
Kate?
Yeah.
Billy?
That's Phoebe Cates.
Mr. Futterman?
Stripe?
But,
Gizmo.
Dante always talks about how, like...
Dante the poet?
Yes, Dante the poet, Elliot. Joe Dante always talks about how great that dog is because it reacted to the Gremlins and to the Mogwai as if they were actual animals.
Yeah, he's
So you
great.
got
And
some
that
very
dog is
natural
great in that movie. Yeah.
reactions.
Now, I actually didn't put any animated dogs in this list. Are there any animated dogs that might have a chance at the crown?
There's all of the ones that go to heaven.
That's
Yeah,
true. Yeah,
yeah.
Balto, yeah.
Yeah, Balto
Balto's-
certainly went to heaven. Yeah, after what he did. Yeah.
It's a good dog.
There's
Very
Wow.
good dog.
There's Nanny from Peter Pan, right?
Yep.
Which, as a kid, I always was confused about whether that dog was actually their
Had a
nanny or not.
job, yeah.
There's the tramp and also Lady
Mm-hmm.
and also that,
The
that
Star's that Scottish dog that dies in
Satterbelt
that one.
Wiser dog in the
Mhm.
prison who sings about fucking the tramp.
Yeah. I feel like we've made a strong case for some of these dogs. Obviously, listeners, if you take issue with any of these rankings, feel free to, comment on our social media posts.
Yeah, right in.
Give us a nice review.
Yeah, please give us a nice review.
So we're onto our next category. This is the equine category. Horses,
Ooh.
baby. Movie horses. Here's some examples.
If there's any other animal that people feel a connection to besides dogs, it is horses.
Horses. Okay.
Yes.
So we have Artex from Neverending Story. Seabiscuit. I think I know somebody is a fan. Secretariat. Spirit the Stallion of the Cimarron. Hidalgo. And Shadowfax.
Wait. I recognize that name, but where's Shadowfax from? I don't
It is the
remember.
steed of one Gandalf the White.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So not a major character.
That's the
What?
Why does that horse get special pride of place?
Because it's dope as hell, dude.
Because Stuart is the one running the mini. That's
but
why.
there's other horses though. Like, why is that the only one that?
The great thing is that now is your turn to make a case for a different horse. Are you going to say Trigger?
I don't. I mean, like, I don't.
Do you have a personal favorite horse?
Yeah, what's your favorite horse, Dan?
Even though
The Black
Seabiscuit
Stallion?
is the world's most popular horse,
That's true.
I don't know.
And what does he sound like, Dan, if he was here?
Well, hey, it's me, Seabiscuit. I just stopped by, heard people talking my name, but I gotta go.
That horse moves so fast, he never sticks around.
He never sticks around. That's the thing. He's so
I was gonna
fast.
say Artex, Stuart. That was the thing. Like that horse that's the soul of that movie until he, sinks into the despair swamp or whatever.
Spoilers, yeah.
Yeah, spoiler.
He just gives up,
He just gives up. That's what's so sad about it, because he's so full of spirit. He's the spirit of the Cimarron,
Yeah, what a crusher of a moment in a kid's movie, right?
Yeah.
There's that war horse. People liked that.
Yeah, you like Warhorse?
I didn't see it.
Now, does the Strider that they ride in the Dark Crystal count as a horse? It's not technically a horse, but they ride it like a horse.
I mean, that's pretty cool. That's a cool argument. Do you want to allow it, Dan?
What? Sorry,
I think
I was
that's
just
a
looking
yes.
at horses.
Are you trying to list the leads from the movie Thoroughbreds?
Is a Pegasus a horse?
We'll call it a horse. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Because
Yeah.
I like that horse from what do you call it? The Clash
Percy
of the
Jackson?
Titans.
Oh, Clash of the Titans.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
From
makes
the TriStar logo?
That one.
I mean, that's a pretty popular horse. Any other? We got Artex, obviously, Shadowfax. That's a powerful horse. If it wasn't for that, Gandalf couldn't be all over the place. He'd have to ride an eagle or something stupid. Riding Shadowfax.
Yeah, it's way
That's style. He's
stupider to
riding
ride
in
an
style,
eagle than
yeah.
to ride a horse. Yeah, sure.
Oh man, it's so cool.
Does that horse that gets whispered to have a name?
No, that's why they have to whisper to it.
Uh-huh.
They don't embarrass it by not having a name.
Any other final horse?
It's funny. I've watched so many westerns in my life,
Yeah.
and yet it's usually the horses are not treated as full characters. They're just kind of like treated like vehicles that you can pick up or drop off. But you'd think there would be more westerns where there's a much stronger relationship with the horse specifically than there.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure there are some, but there's not as many as you think.
Radio and TV more than the movie that everyone did not care for, but like Silver obviously is the one that comes to mind in terms of like Western horses, the Lone Ranger's horse. But
you were gonna say the horse from Hot to Trot with Bobcat Goldthwait.
I was gonna say that horse. That's my favorite horse. Any horse that's hot to trot.
And
it's
I
my
like
kind of horse.
My favorite is either that horse or when his dad, who is a horse, comes back reincarnated as a horse fly. That's also,
Wait, does that happen?
Yeah.
In Hot to Trot?
Yeah.
Do I have to watch Hot to Trot again?
No,
you
don't have to watch Hot to Trot. The government says you have to watch Hot to Trot now, yeah.
Ellen says you don't have to. I just say you do.
I thought you were going to say it was the Supreme Court, Dan. In the end, Roberts sided with the conservatives that said you do have to watch Hot to Trot again. Yeah.
I can't wait to read the dissent.
They say they're for small government, but they're making me watch Hot to Trot again.
Yeah, it feels like, I think you're right. Like, when I was putting this category together, I was like, I feel like horses are such a big part of movies for such a long time that there would have been a ton of ones that like jumped out to me, but there kind of aren't.
No, they're treated as props more than as characters a lot of the time. And I wonder if that's because there's a feeling, I think that by the time movies were being made, this is a theory I'm making up off the top of my head, most moviegoers did not have close relationships with horses the way that they might to a pet, a dog or a cat or something like that. Whereas in earlier times, I think people would have had a much closer relationship to a horse. By the time movies are being shown in cities, there's fewer and fewer horses in cities, and stuff like that. So if you're making a lot of movies set on the mean streets of New York, there's not going to be a lot of horses there. And if you're making a lot of movies set in, what's a famously horseless city? Like a city that banned horses. Are there any?
Venice?
Tokyo.
Yeah, Venice. If you're making movies set in Tokyo or Venice, you're not going to have a lot of horses there. Yeah.
Coruscant. Can't put a horse there.
No horses.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next category. This is the rodent category. Mice, rats, etc.
Capybaras, sure.
Yeah, you got things like characters like Stuart Little.
Okay.
Fievel Mouskowitz. Remy from Ratatouille.
Yep.
Socrates from Willard.
Uh-huh.
Ben from Ben. And a personal favorite, Mrs. Brisby from Secret of Nim.
Mrs. Frisbee.
Frisbee in the book.
Frisbee in the book.
movie.
Oh, it's Frisbee in the movie. I didn't even remember
because
that.
of Frisbee the Flying Disc.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I know the book
issues.
so much better than the movie. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to be mad if Brisby wasn't on there because
That's a hot mouse.
I had kind of a crush on Mrs. Brisby as a kid. I watched.
Did you have more of a crush on Mrs. Brisby or on Gadget from Rescue Rangers?
Good call.
Frisbee
for me.
I mean, I think ultimately
she's a single mom, dude.
Gadget, but
it's a MILF, a mouse I'd like to, et cetera. Yeah,
Brisby was a formative, confusing cartoon crush, and I have to go with Mrs. Brisby because, she shows so much heart through that movie, and it's ultimately the power of her heart that saves her family.
Yeah. It's a dope movie.
Yeah, beautiful film.
Yeah, I was glad you put Fievel on there. Again, that's my family's story. That's my ancestors' story. So I've got to stand up for Fievel. That we came to this country from another country seeking safety, and then we went out west.
Yeah, eventually we went west.
I don't think
eventually my family went as west as northern New Jersey.
I never saw Fievel Goes West. Is this
Fievel Goes West is a pretty bonkers movie in some ways. It's much less of a tightly told story than An American Tale.
Okay. So it's just like an anthology story of Western stories? Like
yeah,
that
exactly.
Coen Brothers movie?
It's Buster Scruggs, but they're all mice. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Mrs. Brisby's an obvious one. I think all those characters are great.
Remy's great, yeah.
Remy's great. I mean, I feel
Stuart
like
Little is a sweet little guy,
Remy is like, I feel like Ratatouille was such a high point for Pixar. I don't know. I mean, they've had a lot of high points, but that's a particular.
They've had an enormous number of high points, but that one is, yeah. I think it's weird that's one of the few. I mean, I guess there's a few that they haven't done sequels of, but I don't think they've ever even talked about doing like a Ratatouille or something like that.
And that's it's right there, right?
It's right
They're
there.
leaving money on the table.
Yeah. The title the title allows for it.
Alone,
So
yeah.
obviously the plot can follow.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
it's,
so
it's
did
because
Stuart
they
Little.
they haven't taken a meeting with Jim Cameron yet.
Yeah.
So he hasn't
It
come
should be
in.
Stuart Little also. Now, Stuart Little, he has a human mom, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
he's not necessarily a mouse so much as a boy that
It takes
has mouse qualities.
So do you think when he was born like a real Pinky, like a real mouse, all like kind of mushy and hairless and kind of like blind? Or do you think he came out looking like Stuart Little?
Well, I mean,
Like furry, like a mouse, or like a pink. I mean,
like most human babies also come out kind of mushy and pinky and
That's true. That's
Squishy.
true. Very few of them come out fully grown. Your Benjamin Buttons and
now,
what have you. But
now when Elliot of the three of us, Elliot, you have children.
Two.
Were you ever
Yeah.
nervous that your
That's the
child was going
sequel.
to come out like a little Stuart Little?
yeah, like a mouse.
I did once have a nightmare before my first son was born that
Uh-huh.
my wife gave birth to like something that looks like when a kangaroo or koala gives birth and it's like not
Oh,
fully
cool.
formed yet and it's
Yeah.
kind of like all weird and mushy and veiny and very tiny. And in the
Mhm.
dream, I had to carry it around in a styrofoam coffee cup because it was so frail and its skin was so sensitive
Uh-huh.
that like I couldn't even hold it in my hand
Had
without
you
hurting
been
it.
watching Eraserhead the night before?
I mean, I've not the night before, but certainly.
This
certainly
feels like a
was
very
in there.
good short Charles Burns comic.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
He would
So,
crush
so,
it.
if, so if Chuck Burns is listening, feel free to use it.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've got some good stuff here. Obviously, write in if you have critiques. We're at the halfway point before we cut to a brief message. We have one more. This is a unrelated question,
Oh.
but you got to make a case for what is the cutest baby animal?
Cutest baby animal.
I'm going to go first. I think it is, without a doubt, baby elephants. Baby elephants are the
those
cutest.
are pretty good.
They're
Cutest
very
little
cute.
old men with
Very
their
cute.
sad eyes, and they're a little bit they're a little bit fuzzy.
I will
mean,
say, in my house, I wouldn't necessarily have thought this earlier, but my younger son is obsessed with tapirs. So in my house, we watch a lot of footage of baby tapirs, and they have a different coat pattern.
I'm assuming on like YouTube or something, not like. Is there a channel that shows baby tapir content?
There are a number of zoos that have baby tapirs that, like, on their Instagram feed, they'll put out
Cool.
tapir footage, and baby tapirs are very cute. They got that little nose, they have to learn how to swim at one point. They got spots and stripes on their coats. They're very cute. But
That's
also,
cute.
baby turtles, super cute. When they hatch
Baby
and they're walking
turtles.
down the beach, and you're like, oh, it's too bad that half of them are going to get eaten by seagulls because
Mhm.
they're so cute.
Or when like a turtle gets a hold of a strawberry, Jesus Christ, they go apeshit. I won't like anything as much as a turtle likes a strawberry.
Yeah. Dan, what about you?
It's hard to say. It's probably just because they look so much like humans, but baby apes are pretty cute.
Yeah,
but,
baby
yeah.
chimps are very cute. Yeah.
I also am very fond
And they can
of,
use weapons.
Yeah. I saw a movie about it. Yeah.
I just like mammals of this kind of like general like size and type, but like baby foxes are a fave of mine.
I could see that. Yeah.
I love it. Okay.
Hey, Sydney, you're a physician and the co-host of Sawbones, a marital tour of misguided medicine, right?
That's true, Justin.
Is it true that our medical history podcast is just as good as a visit to your primary care physician?
No, Justin, that is absolutely not true. However, our podcast is funny and interesting and a great way to learn about the medical misdeeds of the past as well as some current, not so legit healthcare fads.
So you're saying that by listening to our podcast, people will feel better?
Sure.
And isn't that the same reason that you go to the doctor?
Well, you could say that, but
And our podcast is free?
yes, it is free.
You heard it here first, folks. Sawbones, marital tour of misguided medicine right here on Maximum Fun, just as good as going to the doctor.
No. Still not just as good as going to the doctor, but pretty good.
It's up there.
My name is Jordan Crucchiola, and I love movies. But you know what I might love even more? Talking about movies. And the directors, actors, and writers that join me every week on Feeling Seen love to talk about movies too. Like our recent co-host, the writer and director, Justin Simeon.
And I love the premise of your show, Feeling Seen. I think that's kind of always my goal when I'm making something. Nothing touches my heart more than when someone comes out of my movie and says, oh my God, I never thought I would see myself.
So hang out with us and geek out about watching movies, making movies, and the ways the movies we love speak to us directly. You might just start asking folks around you, hey, what movie character made you feel seen? We're doing it every week at MaximumFun.org.
So we got a little message. This is a Jumbotron. The long-running horror film podcast, Horror Show Hot Dog, is launching the Minnesota Genre Film Exposition and is now accepting short and feature-length film submissions. The MNGFE will take place October 3rd through 5th, 2025, in Roseville, Minnesota, with a submission deadline of July 31st. So, filmmakers, visit filmfreeway.com/the Minnesota Genre Film Exposition to submit your film by July 31st.
I could go for a horror show hot dog right about now.
Okay, well, after the show, speaking of hot dogs, let's get to talk more about these cool animals of the movies.
I feel like a hot dog is the opposite of a cool animal.
Oh,
The
good
hot
point.
right in the name, yeah.
Good point.
It depends. Sometimes you just eat them right out of the fridge, right?
You do indeed.
You're snacking dogs? You guys don't have snacking dogs at your house? Okay, well, that's fine. Okay, so the next category is the primate category. This is directly inspired by Better Man. That would cover monkeys and apes, things like Amy from Congo,
Classic.
Bonzo from Bedtime for Bonzo, Caesar from Planet of the Apes, Clyde from Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can, Gordy from Nope, King Kong, King Louie, or Mighty Joe Young. Favorite primates, guys?
You got my two favorites right there on there, King Kong and Caesar. This is Caesar's on my mind a lot because we just started watching the original Planet of the Apes movies, me and my younger son. I said, enough about tapirs. Let's watch some ape ears.
They were, I'm sure, impressed by that.
He applauded for 14 straight minutes.
The thing is, your kids, they idolize you. They think you're the funniest guy in the universe.
Yeah, they're both at the age now where they clearly still love me, but they like to be very derisive about me, which I don't love. But the original Planet of the Apes still holds up. The new Planet of the Apes really great. But King Kong
I remember when the new, those new Planet of the Apes movies, the first one came, I think it was when the second one had come out. I had missed the first one, but I rented it or something. And I remember right away, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to see a movie of this stupid like CGI baby monkey. And then like 10 minutes later, I'm like crying. I'm like, stupid CGI monkey made me cry.
But the original King Kong has such a special place in my heart. I think because it's the first special effect I saw as a kid where I was like, this doesn't look real, but it looks alive. Like I do not think this is a real ape. I know this is a puppet, but he looks like he's alive. He has so much personality and there's so much vim to him, except in those close-ups of the giant King Kong face, which always look ridiculous to me. Yeah. That original stop motion King Kong is just like, that's my favorite. Got to be my favorite ape of all movies,
There's something so magical about that style of special effect because it is like, there's such an attempt with movies to try to make things look as real as possible that when you have something that doesn't quite look real, but it still is like, there's still something there. Like it still feels magical. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess the secret of it is the acting of it. That the person doing the effect has to be, and that's why Andy Serkis I think was such a breakthrough performer. It was like even though these characters are not real, in front of you, the acting matters just as much as it's the kind of thing animators have known for forever. But like that, there's still a performance acting level. You still have to get the emotion across, even if it is a monster character or a CGI whatever. And King Kong has that,
I feel like almost more when it's a monster character because you need to have you have to emote more. You have to.
Sorry, I was silent for a long time because I was thinking about it. I was like, I can respect the fact that Link is horny for Elizabeth's shoe, but Link ends up being murderous and evil, so I wouldn't go with that.
Okay.
I would, my loyalties are split between the two kings, Kong and Louie. Kong is one of the most soulful of the great apes in film, and King Louie has one of the best songs.
Yeah. No, I think I feel like I'm sure we're missing some. Yeah. But
there's a lot of apes. We haven't mentioned Ed. We haven't mentioned Dunstan. We haven't mentioned the MVP, most valuable primate. We haven't mentioned
whatever the monkey from Monkey Trouble's name is.
The monkey from the monkey.
The
The monkey
there's a
from
lot of
Monkey Shines.
yeah, there's a lot of monkeys we haven't mentioned. Yeah, but I think,
Shiny.
there's that Nazi monkey from Raiders. You know,
Sure, yeah.
he's the monkey you love to hate.
There's the one from the Pirates movies.
Yep.
Oh
Yep,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
listed.
Yeah.
Wasn't the killer in Murders in the Rue Morgue monkey?
Yep, was a gorilla. Yep, or an
Yep.
orangutan. Was an escaped orangutan.
Yeah, from the circus.
A sailor's pet that had
Oh,
got
sailor.
loose.
Yeah, sailor's pet.
Sailors are always fucking things up, guys. Okay, the next category. This is another big one. This is close to me and Dan's heart. Maybe less so for Elliot. We are in the feline category.
Thumbs down.
Cats. Cats in the movies.
Just
Keep that
because they
cat
make
in
you
the bag.
sneeze.
So we got
Yeah, they
And
make me
itch.
sneeze. And they, they hurt my eyes. Yeah.
we got some famous cats like the cat from Tales from the Dark Side, the movie that kills Buster Poindexter.
Oh, so that's the first cat you mentioned in the list of movie cats. Interesting.
Oh yeah, we got Keanu from Keanu. We got That Darn Cat. We got
Sure.
Sassy from Homeward Bound. The cat from Inside Llewyn Davis.
Oh,
We
that's a
got
good cat.
Jonesy from Alien and Aliens.
yeah.
Morris the cat from The Long Goodbye. Church from Pet Cemetery. And of course, a Flophouse list of cats wouldn't matter if I didn't say Duffy from A Talking Cat.
Oh, I thought you were going to say all of the cats from the movie Cats.
Those aren't real cats.
Yeah,
they are
unlike
in
King
the world
Kong,
of
there's
the
a real
film.
gorilla.
Okay, so are you going to make a case for one of the cats from Cats, the movie?
No, I'm going to make a case from the cat from Outer Space,
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Disney film that I saw over and over again as a kid for some reason, and the reason is it was on television. But it's a real cat. It had some sort of I don't know, space powers, if I recall.
So this is a movie you saw over and over again, but you don't remember anything about it.
No, I'm looking it up. Oh, Roddy McDowell was in it. Oh, wow.
Did you see this movie, Dan?
It was a cute cat. I just remember that. And it had a special collar that amplified telekinetic and telepathic abilities.
That makes sense. That's how you know it's from outer space.
That's how you know it's from outer space. A collar.
Elliot, do you have favorite cats?
I think I'm going to mention, because I have the opportunity to, a cat that was not on your list.
Okay.
There's a Czech New Wave movie called, it has a couple different titles. The Cassandra Cat, The Cat Who Wore Sunglasses, another one.
Great
There's
names.
one of the titles is When the Cat Comes, One Day a Cat, etc. It's this cat that has the ability to, if it looks at you, then your color changes to a color that represents kind of a big flaw in you or your emotion. So like if you're greedy or if you're in love or if you're depressed or something like that, suddenly your body all turns that color when the cat looks at you. And it's a pretty silly movie for the most part, but I love the idea. But there's some fun touches in it, and it's one of these cats that you don't hear so much about in movies, but he's integral to the plot. This cat is very important to the plot. So that's the Cassandra Cat.
Yeah, I mean, I really love Morris the cat in The Long Goodbye. Like, it's such a moment. Like, just right off the bat, it like humanizes Elliot Gould, and it's such a key. I don't know. Like, it was the moment where I'm like, okay, I love this movie. Like, I'm in for this.
There's the cat in Can You Ever Forgive Me? Also,
Yes,
which like
yeah.
you don't see a lot of that cat, but the cat's so important to it, you know.
Mhm.
So
Sorry, I'm thinking about my own choices while you're reading things sometimes. Did you mention the one from the cat, the
No.
Story of Ricky director?
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, that's another cat from outer space, and also
Dan loves these alien cats.
things fly around the screen a lot in that movie.
Sounds great.
Like if you're a fan of the Story of Ricky,
Which-
you'll like the cat.
Which, as a cineast, I am.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm also going to mention. the movie Kuroneko, the Black Cat, a Japanese movie from the 60s. It's the same director who made Onibaba, and that's one. It's really more about two ghosts that kind of take the form of cats and kill samurais. But there's a cat in there, and it's a good spooky movie.
Is there a cat in Hausu? I don't remember, guys.
Yes, there is. Its eyes would sparkle sometimes.
That's right.
No,
That's right.
cool.
What a cat! Actually, maybe I'll switch to that cat. I like cats that have power eyes. You know.
I feel like that's kind of the funny thing about cats is they're so like cats as pets are kind of weird assholes, right? And so giving them like a few magical powers, you're like, that makes sense. They're kind of magical weird assholes.
They've been able to trick humanity into taking care of them while providing very little otherwise.
Almost nothing.
Well, this
yeah.
is-
Dogs are working for it
Hold on,
every
this
day,
is-
and cats are like, you work for me.
This is a tale that is told by
tale.
our culture. But I have two very affectionate cats who want to spend time with me and with my wife and
me.
yes. So it's not necessarily the case. Like
Dan, that cat knows that it is affection in exchange for food and lodgings. It is very much.
That's the way of all pets.
This explains a lot of our relationships, though.
The way of all pets.
So
Okay.
I think it's very transactional with cats. Basically, is what I'm saying.
So we are into our final category. Obviously, I'm leaving. Oh, shit. I can't believe I set myself up.
Yeah, you really got you.
You walked into that one.
Now, this is a category that has a lot of animated characters, and that is the avian category. We're in the birds.
Okay.
So those are characters like Iago from Aladdin, Zazu from The Lion King, the Roadrunner, the birds from The Birds, Donald, Scrooge, Daffy, Howard, all ducks, Happy Feet, and this one might be an outlier, the crow.
Yeah, not technically a bird, but a person, yeah.
In a movie.
He is in a movie, though, you're right.
Well, I mean, obviously, my top bird is Uncle Scrooge McDuck, but he's only appeared in one movie, two, I guess. The one as himself, DuckTales: Treasure of the Lost Lamp, and one as
and the other was as the
Ebenezer
doctor
Scrooge
who takes care of the Elephant Man, right? In the Elephant Man.
Yep.
In Mickey's Christmas Carol, but
right. Is he not in? He's not in Donald Duck in Math Magic Land, right?
No, and that's also a short. I wouldn't, but he is in one where he explains how the workings of the economy and how money has to circulate. And
maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
But
that was it. Yeah, that was in The Big Short.
Yeah. So I don't think he's given his due in film. So I'm gonna go. I love Iago. I think that for me, Robin Williams obviously makes me laugh in Aladdin, but the thing that makes me laugh the most in Aladdin is Iago, and the Gilbert Gottfried line delivery is particularly. I'm going to have a heart attack and die from not surprised, which is one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
Now, I got a question for you guys. Obviously, Scrooge McDuck is great.
Obviously.
But if you were going to compare Donald Duck to Daffy Duck, where do you land on that one?
Oh, Daffy 100% for me.
I love Daffy Duck so much.
I love Daffy Duck.
He's
Daffy
such
Duck
a
has
fucking awesome loser.
He has two modes: wacky, silly, and also resentful jerk. And I like both of them. I think they're both really funny. Whereas Donald just gets mad at stuff, basically.
Yeah, in film, definitely Daffy. Like, I like the Donald of the comics, where
as
he's
opposed
like
to what in the
weird...
novels. Oh, I see the comics. Yeah.
Of the comics, he's like a weird adventurer, like suburban adventurer guy.
Yeah.
But Daffy's got a better shtick.
Yeah, man, I love Daffy Duck. I'm gonna say I feel like there's just something so special and pure about the Roadrunner. It's such an asshole, such an asshole. But at the same time, it's this eternal thing. I don't know, constantly screwing over the coyote and rubbing it in his face. But at the same time, he's trying to kill him. I don't know. It's
yeah.
great.
I don't know, if I would characterize him as an asshole.
Well,
he rubs it in.
He does rub it in. I mean,
just by saying meep meep, what?
Oh, there are times he sets it up on purpose. He's teasing him into that.
He knows what he's doing.
But he knows what he's doing. On the other hand, the Wile E. Coyote is trying to kill him, so he's justified.
And actually, I don't know. Am I misgendering? I can't tell I don't remember if the Roadrunner.
I don't think we know for sure.
I think it's not
canonically.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to mention two birds that are not on your list. One is Kevin, the giant bird from Up. I'm a big fan of that bird. I think she's really funny. And has a lot of personality. But also the man turning into a bird over the length of Brewster McCloud, a movie that mostly doesn't work for me. But I love this conceit of this guy's giving a lecture to the audience about birds. And over the course of the film, he's just becoming a bird for no reason. There's no explanation for it. Yeah. So I'm going to go with that.
And
Yeah.
before, I know the listeners are going to want to write in and complain that I'm not repping Gwai here, the eagle from Lord of the Rings. But, I feel like the Eagles get so much attention and like not the band. I don't like the band, the Eagles, but the Eagles in Lord of the Rings get so much attention. And like, there's so much flack about them
Do
not
they?
carrying the ring to Mount Doom and just chucking them there. So, but whatever. Like Gwai here rules. I get it. But I want to put the spotlight on the Roadrunner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you also, and I know you're a big fan of Rockadoodle too, right?
Hey, that rooster can get it,
Yeah. I want to shout out Big Bird, of course, from Follow That Bird.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Big Bird, like
The sweetest bird.
I was watching the
And to Muppet movie. He's got that cameo appearance in the Muppet movie.
It's true.
Brett Goldstein in his stand-up special was talking about how he was a guest on Sesame Street and it was the best day of his life. And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, if I was on set and Big Bird walked up to me, that would like crush me.
Yeah, you
like I would lose
immediately
my shit.
Burst into
Yeah.
tears.
Like I couldn't help it. Like, I don't know, man. There's something so magical about that character. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
very much. Dan, that's a good call.
And
Yeah.
I've told that story on here before about the time my mom took me to a performance of the Muppets or of like a Sesame Street Live thing, and the theme was that like Big Bird was missing, and the performers on stage were like, Big Bird's missing. We need to go find him. And after this scene, my mom looks over and I'm not in my seat. I'm gone. So she goes into the lobby and I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to push through the front door. And my mom's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, we have to find Big Bird. Like I took it as my responsibility that I need to find Big
No,
Bird.
that's too much responsibility for a child.
Yeah,
That explains a lot about my personality, honestly. Okay, so we've covered all the bases. We just have one final question. This is a hard one, guys. Before we
So we've
wrap
covered
up.
all the bases, but there's one more question.
You're right. His story doesn't add up. You got him.
One more thing. That makes sense. One more thing.
Oh,
If we've
man,
covered
I'm
all
in
the
a fucking
bases, wouldn't there
episode.
be no questions left?
I'm in an episode of Poker Face over here. Okay, so guys, gun to your head.
I don't like that.
No,
Yep.
I'm already not a fan of this scenario.
Gun to your head. Ignoring the bird category, the
Yeah.
avian category. Of the animals we've talked about today, which animal would you eat?
Oh.
Ignoring the bird category?
Yes.
Oh, man. To remind us of the categories, there was what? Dog, horse,
Dogs, horses,
primates,
rodents,
or rodents.
primate. Elliot goes right to primates. What's wrong with him? And felines, cats. Which of those animals, and not like the broad category, which of those characters would you eat?
Oh, so it has to be the character.
Yeah, you're
that's
eating
in
the
it.
character, yeah.
I
Gun to your
picked
head, yeah.
or
It doesn't have to be one you
Oh,
picked. It
then
any
you got it.
listed.
No,
you
then-
could say
then for
Mighty
me-
Joe Young if you want.
Yeah. who wouldn't want to eat Mighty Joe Young? Then for me, I think it's got to be Seabiscuit. The chance to eat one of America's favorite horses, to be the guy, to be known as the guy who ate Seabiscuit. Like I can't, and his name has Biscuit in it. You know
Yeah.
he's going to be delicious, and also you're going to be famous. I think, you got it.
Understandable.
don't
yeah.
want
That
to.
meat's going to be so tender from all the running.
Yeah.
I don't. That's how it works. I don't want to double up, but like I feel like it's got to be one of the horses.
Dan, you can't say Mrs. Brisby and say it's a sexual thing. You
No,
can't.
no, I don't. I have.
But like, we wouldn't blame.
I feel the least personal attachment to horses. So like
Dan, if you want to take horses, then I'll say Remy the rat, Ratatouille. You know he tastes good.
He tastes
He
good,
can cook
yeah.
himself. He'll season himself ahead of time. Yeah,
he's
Guys-
only eating the best food that
exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to shock you guys, but I just get shot. I wouldn't eat any of these treasured
Oh,
characters.
come on! What a
You can't
trap!
set a trap like that. And also, it's
I
totally
did set
not
a trap.
true.
So everybody, this has been a mini episode of the Flophouse Podcast.
Wow.
Send all your hate mail to theflophouse@gmail.com, I think.
You know what? I welcome your hate. I'll eat Remy and I'll eat Seabiscuit. Deal with it.
Oh, double up.
Heel turn, heel turn, heel turn.
So this has been a mini episode of the Flophouse Podcast. This has been produced by Howell Doughty, Alexander Smith. He goes as Howell Doughty on various socials and on Twitch, et cetera, making music. He's great. He's the best. We're a part of the Max Fun Network, so there's other shows probably a lot like this over there, so check them out.
Yeah, all about eating beloved characters.
I've been, for this episode, I've been Stuart Wellington.
For this and other episodes, I've been Dan McCoy.
For this and all the other episodes, I think, I'm Elliot Kalin, and I can't wait till the mini when Stuart asks us about our favorite movie children and then gives us the same question at the very end, and we don't see it coming.
Okay, see you later. Bye, Seabiscuit.
Maximum Fun,
a worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
supported
directly
by you.